Hi friends, host Eric here, host of Talking with Famous People, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but I am Trans-Gender-Race-Tional. What that means is that my gender is fluid, my race is fluid, and my age is fluid. At any given moment, I could be a small Asian girl, or an old black man, or a middle-aged white she-male. Actually, what I'm getting at with this is that I actually have very distinct and precise positions on all three matters. Namely, that gender is binary, that race is nonsense, and that age is a poor corollary for anything meaningful. So, okay, let's start with the first one. Gender's binary. Well, that's self-evident. Obvious and objectively so. Gender is binary. We can distinguish between males and females by chromosome. It's not actually gender that's binary, it's sex that's binary. Gender is not something people have, it's something that words have. But I've accepted the fact that we use it to mean people's sex, even though it doesn't mean that. So, you know, the conventionality of one's sex-specific identity displays is one thing. That's very different than one's sex. And gender, as I said, is not a thing that actually applies to people, it applies to language. So you have gendered pronouns, true. You can have gendered language of all sorts, but it doesn't refer to people's gender. That's the ridiculous thing. It's like, okay, well, I know that she is a gendered pronoun, and she does specifically refer to the sex of a person. But if you look at other languages like Spanish or something, you know, la ropa, which is like your room or whatever, or la sopa, which is soup. Those are female words. That's the gender of the word. It has nothing to do with only women eat soup or something like that. It's not that kind of gender. You know, it's not about that. Anyway, so yeah, sex is obviously binary, and the notion that people have gender outside of sex is fine if they want it to be completely arbitrary and made up and everything. And we can all play make-believe. I'm a knight in shining armor, or whatever. I'm a wizard. I mean, I play a little bit of make-believe here and again too. That's fine. I'm not telling you you can't act like a chick if you're a dude or vice versa. I'm just saying, enough with the transgender. Tiffany, for example, the tech guy who stole from me. He's a dude. I don't care how much he dresses up like a chick. He's still a dude. I'm not going to call him she. Period. So that's my take on gender. Now, race. Race is completely nonsense. It's not an actual thing. It's not even a social construct. It's a game of that. It's like the argumentational equivalent of the tulip crisis in Holland back in the 1790s or whenever it was, where everybody kept buying all these tulip futures until a single tulip bulb would cost like the equivalent of like $1,200 or something. But of course, there was a time limit on it, which was, you know, once tulip planting season is over, then the bulbs are useless and worthless. So shortly, you know, before tulip planting season, there was a shocked realization by everybody that, oh my God, we're paying for bullshit. We're not paying for an actual thing. We're paying for the fact that it's going to appreciate and value. Same thing with race. It's like, you're not talking about the actual, anything actual. You're talking about the meanings of what it would mean to be that if that thing were real. And it's not. So it's like, well, you know, if there were race and I was that race, then meh. You might say, well, we know race is real, Eric, because other people will perceive other people as race. It's not, like, you can get 100 people together and all agree that guy's a black dude. Okay, but none of them can falsify it. I mean, it can't be falsified. The claim can't be falsified, so it's meaningless. Broad consensus that, you know, he looks like a black person is inadequate to make it substantiated in any sense. The fact that people have darker and lighter skin does not indicate a race. It just indicates that, oh, here's a physical thing we could point to and create an arbitrary category called race out of, and then use it to be ontologically reductionist about people, and so that, you know, we don't have to deal with it as individuals. They get to be a member of their race now. Whoop-de motherfucking do. I don't want to be a white person. I don't want to be a black person or whatever. Right? I'm an Eric, okay? I'm a famous person, as is everybody else that's ever been on the channel. I'm a host, but other people can be hosts too. Other people have been hosts. It's not like a host is reserved for me, although it seems to be reserved for me nowadays. But that's not by my intention. It's just nobody who takes on the moniker. Not Host Mark is a not host. As far as groups go, I think that's a group that's pretty safe to call yourself a member of if you'd like to. But right now, I think it's a group with one member, not Host Mark. Anyway, race is fucking stupid. Race is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. No matter how it's used, it's insanely stupid. I've never heard a good argument that includes it. Never once in my life. Except for these, which are dismissals of it as a concept. Okay, now let's go on to age. So, age matters a lot in some ways. Like, I'm afforded legitimacy and an opportunity to be heard that I never was when I was younger. And partially it's because younger people don't feel competitive against me so much. If I'm 22, 25, whatever, it's acceptable to me that this guy who's not my peer and who's not competing against me in my own self-perceived niche of accomplishment might serve as kind of like a mentor or provide information that I would find useful. It'll be useful to me to have somebody to point to say, oh, there's this old guy that helped me get with some of my information that I use to be so brilliant now or whatever. It's nice to have influences to credit. It gives you a certain amount of authenticity or legitimacy or something. And there's lots of reasons why it's conceivable that somebody who themselves might be very ideationally capable and ideationally active might be willing to afford me legitimacy and listening to me that had nothing to do with the actual quality or content of what I'm saying. It might just have to do with the fact that I'm older. Now this is the weird paradox of it. Age correlates very poorly, as far as I can tell, with anything that matters. So it's like, I've met young people who are idiots. I've met young people who are brilliant. I've met young people who are wiser by far than most old people I've ever met, and young people who are very unwise. But each of those people within themselves is either going to grow well or devolve or stagnate or something other than grow well. And for those who do grow well, then it's insulting to yourself to assume that you've reached the pinnacle of your own achievement. You know, at a certain point, I guess, you start going downhill. I don't feel as though I've reached that point yet. I feel as though I've got a ways to go before I maximize my optimality. If, as I generate new ideas and they enter into a larger, big picture framing description, the new components inform existing components, inform new components, such that the whole becomes more well mapped, more well articulated, more interconnected with itself and other components of it. And as a consequence, it's difficult to beat me in an argument, for example. It's not just that I'm smart, quote unquote, although I guess I'm pretty smart. I don't feel unusually intelligent. I don't think the IQ score is very high. It's not genius level, that's for sure. But what I really have is a lot of experience in encountering all the different arguments in different contexts. And I understand how they interlink. Like, well, this is an example of this kind of argument, and it carries with it these weights that it has to deal with. These are the challenges of making that argument. I get that, even if I've never heard of an argument before, it's brand new to me. It's still an example of a kind of argument, and you're gonna be hard pressed to come up with some new kind of argument. I've never encountered anything remotely similar to it before, because I'm 47 years old now. At the same time, I still feel like a kid, and half the time I feel like I'm the most childlike one in the room. Certain kinds of things I get so antsy like a little kid. I just can't sit still. I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I just like that. So, being old, you can assume certain things, not really at all, and you can know this. Either the person aged well or aged poorly. If they aged well, then presumably they're a much better version of themselves than they were a long time ago. That's the case with me. And if they aged poorly, then I guess they topped out early or something. I don't know. That's my thoughts on race, gender, and age. Don't think just because I'm 47 years old, I don't know how to party. I've got a lot of years of experience with that too. And I'm down. So, it's great having all these young friends and stuff, different age friends and people around, and so much fun. It's the fun I always wanted to have. And now I really can, in part because I don't drink. It enables me to have all kinds of different other kinds of fun. I just can't drink. And if I drank, I wouldn't be able to have any fun at all. So, that's my story about those things. And don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. And if you want to have a typing session with me, I think you'll enjoy it. I think previous people have. And I will provide you my attention and insight regarding your processes, your nature, your identity, who you are, where you're going, etc. It's like a super fancy tarot card reading, except based on thinking. And if you would like to read my book, Exciting Tables and Words about Human Personality, that's available at TWFP Collectibles. Both those things are available at TWFPcollectibles.com. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to eat plenty of